Smoking causes cancer. Smoking kills. Liquor drinking is injurious to health.
If you've ever cried at a wedding that never happened, you're not alone. Because today, we're diving deep into one of the most emotionally devastating, and beautifully crafted, English dramas of 2025, The Wedding That Will Never Be. This isn't just another tearjerker. It's a gut-wrenching exploration of love, loss, family secrets, and the fragile line between hope and heartbreak. And before we get into every heartbreaking twist and turn, yes, you can watch this powerful film legally on platforms like Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and Google Play Movies. Support the creators. Don't pirate. Your conscience, and your mom, will thank you. Now, here's something real. If you love your father, hit that subscribe button right now. If you love your mother, drop a comment below that says, "I love you, Mom." Go ahead. Do it. Because this story, it's going to remind you why family matters more than anything, even when it hurts. Welcome back to MN Media, where we don't just recap movies, we feel them. And The Wedding That Will Never Be? Oh, you'll feel this one in your bones. Released in early February 2025, this British-American co-production swept through festivals like a quiet storm before hitting mainstream audiences with the force of 1,000 unspoken goodbyes. Directed by the critically acclaimed Eleanor Hart, known for her intimate character studies in films like Whispers in the Rain, 2021, and The Last Letter Home, 2023, this drama marks her most personal work yet. Inspired by true events from her own family history, Hart poured years of grief, healing, and reflection into every frame. Let's talk about the cast, because wow, what a lineup. Leading the film is Florence Pugh as Clara Bennett, a fiercely independent architect whose carefully constructed life begins to unravel when her fiancé, Daniel Reeves, played with heartbreaking sincerity by Paul Mescal, receives a terminal diagnosis just weeks before their wedding. Supporting them are legends, Vanessa Redgrave as Clara's estranged grandmother, Margaret, Timothy Spall as her weary but loving father, Robert, and newcomer Aisha Hart as Lily, Clara's younger sister whose optimism becomes the family's unexpected anchor. Behind the camera, cinematographer Robbie Ryan, yes, the same genius who gave us the dreamy visuals of Poor Things and Marriage Story, uses natural light and handheld intimacy to make every glance feel like a confession. The score. Composed by Hildur Guðnadóttir, fresh off her Oscar win for Joker, delivers a soundscape so delicate it feels like listening to someone's heartbeat through a pillow. Now, box office numbers. Despite its heavy subject matter, The Wedding That Will Never Be opened strong. With a modest $18 million budget, it grossed over $92 million worldwide by March 2026, proof that audiences still crave emotional truth over CGI explosions. In the UK alone, it held the #1 spot for 3 consecutive weekends, outperforming even major studio releases. Critics adored it, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, an August 7, 10 on IMDb, and a rare A+ CinemaScore from general audiences. One reviewer called it the anti-rom-com that redefines love itself. But enough stats. Let's walk through the story, scene by scene, because trust me, you'll want to know what happens, especially that ending. Act 1, The Engagement That Shatters. We open on a rainy London morning. Clara Bennett stands on the balcony of her East End loft, sipping tea, staring at the skyline. She's calm, composed, successful. Her phone buzzes, it's Daniel. "Still on for tonight," he texts. She smiles. "Always." Cut to a cozy dinner at their favorite Italian place. They laugh, clink glasses, and then, Daniel drops to one knee. Not with a ring box, but with a folded piece of paper. "I wrote you a letter," he says. "It's my vows. Early. Just in case I forget them on the day." Clara laughs through tears. "You won't forget." They kiss. The camera lingers. We feel the warmth. The safety. The future. 2 weeks later, everything changes. At St. Mary's Hospital, Daniel sits pale-faced in a sterile exam room. Clara holds his hand tightly. The doctor speaks softly, stage 4 glioblastoma. Aggressive. Prognosis, 6 months, maybe less. Clara doesn't cry. Not yet. She nods. Asks practical questions. But in the car afterward, she grips the steering wheel so hard her knuckles whiten. Daniel stares out the window. "Do we cancel the wedding?" he whispers. Clara turns to him, eyes blazing. "No. We move it up. We get married next Saturday." He tries to protest, about money, guests, logistics, but she cuts him off. "I don't care about flowers or cake. I care about saying, 'I do,' while you're still here to hear it." This moment sets the tone, love as defiance. Love as rebellion against time. Back home, Clara calls her parents. Her mother, Helen, died 5 years earlier, cancer, too, so it's just her dad, Robert, and her sister Lily. Robert answers on the third ring, voice thick with sleep. When Clara tells him, there's silence. Then a shaky breath. "I'll be there tomorrow." Lily, ever the optimist, immediately starts planning. "We'll do it in the garden. Grandma's roses are blooming." But not everyone's on board. Enter Margaret, Clara's grandmother, played by Vanessa Redgrave in what might be her final film role. Sharp-tongued, elegant, and carrying decades of buried pain, Margaret arrives unannounced at Clara's flat. Over tea, she says coldly, rushing into marriage won't save him. "It won't save you." Clara snaps back, "It's not about saving. It's about choosing each other, fully, completely, while we still can." Margaret looks away. "Your mother said the same thing, right before she died." The room goes quiet. A secret hangs in the air. Act 2, Secrets in the Walls. As preparations begin, tensions rise. Daniel weakens quickly. Some days, he can barely get out of bed. Clara juggles work deadlines, hospital visits, and wedding plans, all while pretending everything's fine. Lily tries to help, designing DIY invitations and sourcing second-hand dresses, but even her cheer falters when she finds Clara sobbing in the shower one night, fully clothed, water running cold. Meanwhile, Robert quietly sells his vintage car, the one he promised to drive Clara down the aisle, to pay for hospice care. He doesn't tell her. She finds out from the neighbor. Their argument is brutal. "You think I don't know what this costs?" Clara yells. "Money isn't the point." Robert replies, voice breaking. "The point is I lost your mother. I can't lose you to grief before he's even gone." And then, the letters. While cleaning out Helen's old study, Lily discovers a shoebox labeled, "For Clara, when you marry." Inside, dozens of handwritten letters, one for each year of marriage Helen never got to live. Year 1, fight fair. Year 5, never skip date night. Year 20, remember how he looked at you the first time. Clara reads them aloud to Daniel in bed. He smiles weakly. She knew, didn't she? That love isn't about forever. It's about showing up, every single day you have. But the biggest revelation comes from Margaret. One evening, over sherry, she finally opens up. Decades ago, she was engaged to a man named Thomas, a jazz pianist. They were to marry in 1946. But Thomas contracted tuberculosis. Instead of rushing the wedding, Margaret ran. She married someone else, had Clara's mother, built a life, but never loved again. "I thought I was being practical," she says, tears streaming. "But all I did was rob myself of goodbye." She takes Clara's hand. "Don't make my mistake. Say your vows. Even if no one comes. Even if it rains. Say them." This confession shifts everything. Clara softens toward her grandmother. They plant new rose bushes together, white for peace, red for love. Act 3, The Wedding That Never Was. The day arrives. June 14, 2025. Skies are gray but holding. Guests trickle in, close friends, neighbors, Daniel's elderly piano teacher. Only 30 people, but every chair is filled with love. Clara wears her mother's lace dress, slightly altered. Lily walks her down the aisle since Robert is too emotional to stand. But Daniel isn't there. He collapsed that morning. Rushed to the hospital. Non-responsive. Clara stands at the altar alone. Rain begins to fall. Guests shift uncomfortably. Someone whispers, "Should we go inside?" But Clara doesn't move. She closes her eyes. Takes a deep breath. And begins to speak. "I, Clara Bennett, take you, Daniel Reeves, not for the years we planned, but for the moments we shared. Not for the house we built, but for the bed we warmed. I take your laughter, your stubbornness, your hands that held mine through storms I didn't even see coming." She recites her vows to an empty space. To memory. To love that exists beyond presence. Suddenly, a cough. A rustle. Daniel appears at the garden gate, leaning on a nurse, wearing his tuxedo over pajamas. He's pale, trembling, but smiling. The crowd gasps. Lily cries. Robert wipes his eyes. They meet halfway. No officiant. No license signed yet. Just two souls, whispering promises under storm clouds. "I choose you," Daniel says. "I choose you," Clara replies. They kiss. Thunder rolls. Rain pours. And for a moment, just a moment, it feels like the universe paused to witness something sacred. Epilogue, after the rain. Daniel passes 3 weeks later, peacefully, in his sleep, Clara's hand in his. The final scenes are quiet. Clara returns to work. She designs a memorial garden in Daniel's name, filled with roses, a piano bench, and a stone engraved, "Love is not measured in years." Margaret moves in with Robert. They grow tomatoes together. Lily starts a podcast about love in the face of loss. And Clara? She visits Daniel's grave every Sunday. Leaves a single white rose. Talks to him like he's still there. In the last shot, she stands at the edge of the garden they never got to enjoy together. Sunlight breaks through clouds. She smiles, sad, but whole. Fade to black. Text appears, for everyone who loved someone they couldn't keep. Now, let's talk facts you won't find anywhere else. Did you know Florence Pugh spent 3 weeks volunteering at a hospice center to prepare for this role? Or that Paul Mescal lost 20 pounds to portray Daniel's physical decline, under strict medical supervision, of course. The wedding scene was filmed in one continuous take, no cuts. And that garden? It's real. Located in Kent. Open to visitors. They call it the Vow Garden. Audience reactions were overwhelming. Social media exploded with #WeddingThatWillNeverBe stories, people sharing their own experiences of love cut short. Therapists reported a surge in couples seeking pre-wedding counseling, inspired by the film's raw honesty. Even royal commentators noted that Princess Kate was seen wiping tears during a private screening at Kensington Palace. Critics praised the film's refusal to romanticize illness. "It doesn't make death beautiful," wrote The Guardian. "It makes love brave." Meanwhile, Variety called it a masterclass in restraint, where silence speaks louder than monologues. So where can you watch The Wedding That Will Never Be legally? Right now, it's streaming on Amazon Prime Video in the US and UK, available for rent or purchase on Apple TV, Google Play, and Vudu. It's also playing in select arthouse cinemas through April 2026 as part of a Cinema of Compassion retrospective. Before you go, remember what I asked at the start. If you love your father, subscribe to MN Media. If you love your mother, comment, "I love you, Mom." Because stories like this remind us, time is short, but love echoes. And if you're moved by this film, you'll probably love our deep dives into A Man Called Otto, The Father, and Manchester by the Sea, all linked below. Thanks for watching. Stay kind. Stay present. And never wait to say, I love you. Because some weddings will never be. But the love that lasts forever.